Hi, I'm Mark Cleghorn. Welcome to the Photographer Academy, and today we're continuing our series in boudoir photography. We've got our amazing model Kelsey with us, and today's session is all about posing flow on the bed. So I've got a whole range of images and ideas for animating the body to give you the basic structure of a session. Pretty much, if you follow what we're going to be doing, you'll be able to actually shoot the first part of any boudoir in around about 15 minutes, and then you can actually start to use a little bit more creativity. So what I'd encourage you to do is to use the bed posing flow as the first part of your series of images for your session. Now remember, these boudoir films are really designed for the the person who's just getting going in boudoir or looking for some ideas to actually bring more animation in and so on, okay? We've just got our simple blow-up bed. Covered it with a bit of a sheet. We've got a lovely duvet on the top, but we're using all window light for this image. As a rule of thumb, for my boudoir photography, I do like a lot of backlight. So in other words, if you imagine this is the flash, as it were, and then it get diffused through with netting. I'm lucky enough I've got great stained glass windows in here. We're pretty much shooting in black and white today, but obviously I'm shooting a RAW and a JPEG file. They're both going to be coming across into to Capture One, and we get such super speed going across and reliability coming from camera to the Capture One using the Tether Tools cable as well. I often get asked, what do I use? We're just going on a 50mm. Now what I've done for this session alone is we fixed the camera position for pretty much the first 90% of the shoot. I am not going to move, but you've got to remember, from every pose I set up, there's probably at least 2 or 3 different angles that you as a photographer can create and follow through in the flow. So I'm just going from one position to another position to another position. But realistically, you would go to one position, shoot a bit of variety, go to the next position, shoot a bit of variety, next position, and so on. Okay, so you get it, the idea. We set up just the basic flower wall here, just to give us a little bit of a 3-dimension if I end up photographing this for real in another film. And I've also got an old master event background behind. I just put some curtains on there just to actually give a little bit of texture, a little bit of flavor. But this film is all about flow posing on the bed. Without delay, let's get Kelsey on set and we'll start to do the shoot. So Kels has taken a natural position. She just sat on the bed anyway. It is one of our natural poses. So let's go straight into this no matter what. Kelsey, just slightly bring this this top knee, I should say, over more and take the other one away more, just a touch. That's brilliant. Twist the body away from me a little bit, so just moving that hand. That's great. And if you're just looking just away from me, that's gorgeous. So we got pose 1 there. So we got lovely angles of the butt shape and everything else. Now from here alone, remember, it's the start of variety. So as far as where we're putting the pose into the hand. So let's just concentrate on this one just for 1 minute, just so you know that there is variety here. Kelsey, move the left hand for me just onto the back part of the bed. That's lovely. Look away more to that side for me. That's great. Can you lean backwards more without falling off the bed? There you go. Can you go back onto the parts of the arms? That's lovely, just there again. Can you just slide this leg down towards the corner of this bed for me? That's lovely, it's there. And can you look towards the pillows just a little bit more for me? Can you bring this left hand onto the bed and now twist away just to look away with the head for me? That's beautiful. Now swap the knees, so put the top knee higher and the bottom knee lower, that's it. Okay, that's great. Relax. So you can see there the fundamental basic flow of images just based on that first posing position. We're going to reset. Okay, we're going to go back to the beginning and we're going to go through now just the structure of each shot. But I want you to be aware of what we just did was all a slight little movement and a change and everything else. One of the fundamental things as a poser in photography, you need to make sure you are instructing the client as best as you can, making sure that they understand which limb is which. Some people don't know their right from their left. I'm not saying who, but it's either to work with your top leg, your top arm, or the arm nearest to me. Whatever is your best instruction from you, but remember, not everybody will fully understand what you're on about, so be nice and clear and slow. As well, as far as the boudoir photography, remember, like I began with by saying, you know, don't just fix a position like I'm doing. I'm here to give you a posing guide. Really what you want to be doing is that posing flow through the images. And I'm going to move from kind of here, shoot in, I'll move to this position, I'll shoot again, I'll move a little bit lower, I'll move to the kind of the butt end, I'll do some more shots, I'll move closer towards the window to do the flatter light, and so on with it. Okay, so remember, everything that we are doing is based on not just the posing guide like we're just about to do, but actually you taking that basic pose and then developing it into a bit of a flow yourself. Let's get going. Kelsey, we're going to start kneeling up, please, if you could, and you're going to turn the body away from me. Open knee just that little bit more if you could. Can you go towards the forward part of the bed a little bit more for me? That's great. Okay, let's do it. And then let's use the left hand towards the bra strap, if it was, and just looking down towards that hand. That's lovely. Let's do it. Okay, so there's our first pose. It's a kneel. We can actually kind of go up into a slightly higher kneeling pose. Bring the knees together for me, Kelsey, and just kind of come up higher off the kneel and do the same pose with the hand for me again. That's lovely there. Okay, so that's exactly the same, but it is pose 1. Let's, go into pose 2. So Kelsey, let's go back to the sitting pose for me if you could. So just that very first pose that you did when you naturally sat down. Bring this top knee higher and the bottom knee away more. That's beautiful. Let's move this hand out towards the side more, off towards the bed, and again looking towards that direction. So we've got a lovely S curve kind of going through the body here fully. It's gorgeous. And there's the kind of the basics with this. Whilst we're in the seated pose, let's come up to an almost sit-in pose, not quite cross-legged. Push the bottom foot towards your butt more, that's it, and bring this knee up higher. And bring up the foot higher a little bit more, that's beautiful. And just stretch this one hand down towards the bottom of the foot and leaning towards me a little bit. That's good. Looking off towards the side for me again. Keep it. Beautiful. So from there, we've got that nice kind of real sexy line. Remember, not all body shapes will allow you to do each style of image, especially if we only had bra and pants here. We'd have to concentrate on sucking in the belly or hiding it with the left-hand arm, as it were. Kelsey, let's bring both knees. So they're going to go upright together for me, if you could. Just cross the heels. That's it. Now leaning right in, cuddling in towards the knees just a little bit more, and just looking off towards here for me. So that's great. So this is a real kind of sexy image. If we've basically got a strapless bra, or we're working with a topless image, this is a great way to hide. We can also use this as a little bit more of an erotic pose for a little bit more of the boudoir confidential kind of styling of images as well. From here, remember the hands can move as well. So they could go to the cross, do the Pringle, that's it, leaning in towards here. They can always go to the cover of the boob. Just kind of go into there, that's great. And again, we can drop the legs down fully to the cross-legging and things. We'll do that on a future film. Right, next shot for us. So let's go to a basic laying down. So if we bring the feet and the legs to this end of the bed, head and body up towards that end. It's okay. So in this stage, remember the expression, if it bends, you bend it. So this front knee, just bend it up a touch more, that's beautiful. Okay, and the back hand and this front hand to me, just bring it back. Now, looking away from me, please, Kelsey, again. That's beautiful, relax. So that's a great kind of flow. Now, remember once more, the legs can change positions and so on with it to actually kind of get that little bit more flow. The hand, in fact, nearest to camera position to make it a little bit more softer or a little bit more erotic can come nearer to the knicker line or the crotch and things really. And this is another great image for the likes of a nude because it will actually completely hide the likes of the groin. And obviously the hands can be used to actually hide the boobs as well. Okay, so let's be a little bit of a kind of rotation now. So Kelsey, come onto the side a little bit more. That's it. And just bring that knee a little bit further down. Bend the other knee for me as well if you can, please, darling. More. That's lovely. Just bring this foot. Beautiful. Can you push that cushion away just a touch for me? That's great. Just bring this hand by your head more for me. Bring this other hand down a little bit lower. Not quite as much. That's gorgeous there. Looking up. We're just focusing in the right place. brilliant, relax. So we've got a lovely kind of almost a three-quarter body shape. Now remember, I'm photographing the full length here, but probably for most shots in this kind of photograph, I would crop off through the actual, the leg and the bottom as well. I refer to that kind of bottom, not to the client, but it's kind of almost, it's a big ham, and we need to actually kind of minimize it, and just cropping through it will really, really help. We can soften this by softening the leg. So move that leg a little bit more away, more. That's it. Push the bottom knee away from you a little bit though, if you can. That's it. And then straight again, looking away, please, Kelsey. That's gorgeous. So you can see how that same pose is softened down with the ham, just with that lovely line of the leg. Remember, if it bends, you bend it the whole time with it. Let me just take that again because I think it's blurred. Right, okay, so there's our next little pose. Let's continue the rotation. Let's go on to the belly. Now, at this stage, we're going to keep profile, so she's perfectly aligned along the bed. Can you push backwards a little bit more? So just shuffle down like a worm. It's nothing like to be called a worm, sorry, darling. Okay, so again, we've got a lovely profile shot. If I'm low enough here, we're going to get a perfect profile on the butt. Feet across just that little bit as well. Let me just focus in more, keep it. And Kelsey's dropped the head down. When we kind of start to hide the face, we refer to this as faceless. This is really good when you're doing perhaps a little bit more of the Boudoir confidential, more erotic, kind of the 50 Shades image, where we can actually start to actually hide. She's got a lovely crossing of the hands, lovely crossing of the wrist, but really the main shot of here is basically the full length. Now you can see as well, I could go in now and actually crop and just shoot the butt without any trouble. If I'm going to shoot the butt shot though, do the same thing. At this point, I would change my exposure to underexpose the image a little bit more to get more of that kind of silhouette kind of look. But remember what I'm doing though, it's okay Kelsey, I'm just adjusting the aperture back for the backlit. So we've got that lovely kind of image. Let's do that same shot, but before we roll, let's go up. Sharila will do the kind of the real butt shot, slightly out of my order as such. That's lovely, that's gorgeous again. Keep it. And again, once more, even though we're showing you the backlit style of image, the silhouette kind of look will be good as well. We'll kind of come back to that pose no matter what. Okay, so let's go back into the laying flat pose. Yep, and this time we're going to roll to me just in a 3/4. So there you go, stop. Go back a little bit more, darling. There you go. Cross the ankles there again. Keep it. So now we've got this lovely kind of long length of body. We haven't quite gone onto the side. Now, Kels, follow it around. So just come over a little bit more, please, darling. That's lovely there. Bend this bottom leg more for me, please. More. And put the other leg on top more. Up on top of the knee and slide that foot down more. There you go. Keep it there. Now, from here, if the body shape allows it, she can move the torso. Keep the body still. Sorry, the legs and the bum still, Kels. Can you lay onto your back for me a little bit? Push that bottom around away from me more. There you go. That's gorgeous. And just bring this hand closest to me, up near the actual head, and looking away again. Okay, so there we've got a development on that same pose, kind of actually following through. And relax, Kelsey. So we're kind of going through that kind of, let's just go backward and show that flow again. So just go on to the side first there, knee up high. That's lovely. Soften the knee down again. That's lovely. Then go actually onto the belly, legs up high, and then the legs up for the butt shot. Great. And then from here, of course, we go to the other butt shot where we pick up the butt. So move the body back down that way a little bit more for me. Push the boobs to the bed. Bring the feet together a touch more. That's lovely. We got that shot. And then, of course, we just relax the body back down again. Roll the body to me just a touch. There you go, stop. And then just turn the body around towards me as well. And we've got the shot. So there's that lovely little flow. Okay, we're done on that. Kelsey, let's go into a kneeling pose. Kelsey knows I call it the cat. So let's do a closed cat first. The closed cat is where the leg closest to camera position is hiding the groin. Yep. And this is a lovely kind of simple image. Looking down again for me. That's great. And when we want to expose the groin more, we refer to it as the open cat. So let's push this front knee backwards, the other knee back to the front. That's it. And head down again, darling. Keep it. I love it. She's done pointing the toe and pointing the foot. Okay, I forgot to mention that all the way through, but it's a part of all the shot that we're doing is to make sure that we're kind of going through it. Right, and that's a natural way, in fact. This is where we'd usually go to our butt shot. So let's bring the two knees together, and then feet are going to come up high, and then push all the way down. Remember, this is where I do the kind of more silhouette. And relax, Kelsey. So we've got a great shot. Notice I just kind of flick the underexposure to kind of give us more of that kind of definition, a little bit more silhouette, but this is definitely where we want to move in to the image. Okay, we're coming towards the end. So Kelsey, I'm going to go back to a laying pose, but the head is going to be up that end for me. Feet are laying down on your belly, sorry, and feet are going to be to this corner. That's great. Okay, so as you can see here, we're back to the kind of laying pose. Soften the feet down just a touch. That's it. Okay, so we're at the basics of the pose, all right? Now we can take the legs up a little bit higher, so just go to that cross, and we're doing it again. But really what we want to do is actually make this just a little bit more erotic now. So what we're going to do is this front knee is going to really push up high, so it forces her to roll a little bit. That's it. What we do here as well now is we start to open up vision to actually the groin. So be careful of that, especially if the thong is very thin or kind of you're doing a nude or whatever it is. You are definitely now into a more 50 shades kind of posing with it. Right, Kelsey, let's roll onto our back and let's do, we're almost going to go to a Drunken Maiden, okay? So Kelsey knows exactly what it is. We're eventually going to be leaning off the edge of the bed. But before we go there, let's just do the kind of shot where the body is an angle turning away from us. The front leg is high, like she's already done. Will you at least allow me to do my job? So again, just going back then, leaning the head back high, show off. Okay, that's it. Can you push your hair down lower? Flick it out so it really pushes back down the bed a touch. There you go, that's it. Keep it. And this will work great on a backlit as well as the kind of the silhouette kind of thing as well. So, Kels, let's go to the full Drunken Maiden, so kind of leaning off the edge more. This, I definitely need to change my camera angle and my position. I'm just going to push back a little bit. I'm working with that 50mm lens, of course. I am going to lower the camera angle as well. Okay, ready, Kels? Let's do it. And relax. Okay, so the Drunken Maiden, as you can see, gets its name because she's falling off the bed. I don't know any other way to explain it, but Kelsey knows my terminology now and kind of how we go to it. How you'd explain that to a client in a real shoot, it would sound a bit weird, wouldn't it? Yeah. Okay, let's do the Drunken Maiden shot. It doesn't mean you're going to wobble all over the place and kind of a bit silly. Okay, so we've done our kind of great images there on the bed. Let's just do a few off the bed to kind of just remember that it is three dimension, okay? So we can start to use the side. Kelsey, what I'm going to do is get you just perhaps kneeling off the other side of that bed. Is that okay? Okay, let's push the knees back a little bit more if you can. Feet are going to come up high, really pushing your body down in towards the bed itself. And relax. And then basically we've got a three dimension. Let's do kind of laying with your back on the bed, but your feet on the floor if you can, up onto tippy toes. Drop the butt down as far as you can. Get the knees up as high as you can. Head all the way back. Stretch those arms more, please, Kels. That's lovely, it's there. And relax. You're done, darling. Have a little rest. Okay, so what we've just gone through there is a real flow for you on camera to allow you to kind of move from one thing to another. Once you do this several times, you're soon going to get yourself into a bit of a mini flow. Don't worry if you don't do all of the poses. Not every figure will allow you to do the poses. Remember that, okay? So you've got to adapt what you are seeing to the person in front of you, physically what they can do, and obviously what they've got on as well and things. So we could use the sheet or netting or whatever it would be to disguise arms and bellies and thighs and hams and so on with it. But it's got to be a good experience. I don't want it to feel like a bit of a kind of a conveyor belt. Do this, do this, do this, do this, do this. And in a workshop, I kind of do go into that mode. I'm saying, okay, let's just do the first 4 poses and work on those. And the more you repeat, you kind of never forget, as it were. You know, tiene estos zapatos en negro, por favor. I know that means I can please my wife in any Spanish country in the world by saying, have you got these shoes in black, please? But I don't speak any other Spanish. So it's really learn what you need to learn. Don't try and do it all, especially when you're at the beginning. So I hope you've enjoyed this kind of a run through and flow of boudoir posing on the bed. Remember, they'll apply themselves whether they're going to be a boudoir or even a nude image. It's really down to you, and obviously you can actually kind of start to implement some of the posing when you start to kind of move from a boudoir to nude with any undressing, showing perhaps the silks or whatever it would be and things really. Anyway, we'll do a quick flick through of all the images for you, so it'll remind you about the posing, and we'll create the app for you as well. Take care, see you on the next one. Bye-bye.